Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stump back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, it is the end of the month, end of the year actually, December 2024 is coming to a close, and in today's video, we're putting together our Legends tier list for the best Legends in the game as of the end of December for 2024. So, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Remember, this is just my personal opinion playing the game, and in today's video, we're taking everywhere into consideration. I will do an end game tier list when I get some time. It's a little bit hard right now, obviously, with having a kiddo and Christmas and all that sort of stuff. So I will do my best to try and get around to the end game version of the tier list where we prioritize the content cycle. But today, we're prioritizing the whole game. Now, I only just recently did this for the 10.5 anniversary, so there aren't too many characters to talk about. But just remember, like I said, it's my personal opinion, ranking stuff like power, speed, usability, all that fun stuff. If you agree, let me know in the comment section below. If you disagree, let me know down below as well. But while you're down there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. With that said, let's dive into the tier list. Alright, so as of the end of November, which was the 10.5 anniversary, this is what I had as the tiers and the tier list moving forward. So the top 10 are in order of my top 10 best characters, and then we move down the tiers, and the characters in the tiers underneath are kind of just clumped together as different conglomerates of what that level of tier actually is. So, as I mentioned, the top 10, we have Zoro Sanji's best legend in the game. Ace is phenomenal. Gear 5 in his 6-star form, not his 6+. The Orin Yamato coming in at 4th, the most underrated legend in the game right here. We have Verse Luffy, then we have Anniversary Shanks, Anniversary Gear 5 Luffy, Nami Karina, the best treasure map legend in the game, Anniversary Roger, and then we have the Verse Super Sugo Blackbeard, rounding it out as number 10. All these characters are phenomenal in their own right. Then we go down to the God tier characters. God tier characters are all exceptionally powerful characters, but they're not exactly characters that have cracked that sort of top 10 echelons. However, there are some characters that you could definitely make an argument to be put up there. They're all very good in their own regards, and they do certain things within the meta that just work exceptionally well. Now, PvP is something that I do take into consideration with this tier list, but it's not a primary focus. The actual sort of 6-man team building is our primary focus for today's video, and this is sort of what we have in terms of the value of characters. As we move down, we have the meta tier. Meta is basically, well, these characters work really exceptionally well because of characters above them. So you have characters like Slashes, the Kaido King works well on the Driven team. You've got like double conditional boosters of Big Mom, Robin, and Shanks. Shirahoshi Mancherry for their ability to remove particular debuffs. Toki to like bypass debuffs in particular game modes. And Carrot for like the ability to just bypass defensive effects. So all of these characters here, like I said, they're all here for a particular reason. And that's sort of just what makes them great. Moving down to ST captains, most of the time you use these guys as captains. ST sailors, most of the time you use them as sailors. And then you go down to ST level limit break, and you utilize these particular characters when you have 10 copies of each of them. So realistically, these characters only work at their best when you have 10 copies of the units. So you need to have them maxed out, level limit break 5, to sort of do what you can with the units. And once you do, these characters do become exceptional within particular game modes like PvP, and obviously they get super drastic buffs here and there as well. As for PvP mainly, like I do have a particular tier devoted to PvP. Obviously this tier is devoted to PvP purely because like PvP is a very, very prominent game mode, and it's something you're going to do every single day. These characters, you don't use them at all in regular play. They're basically only here because of PvP. AT captains are pretty much just like captains that aren't as good as the ones above them. And then you've got AT sailors, who again are characters that sort of just aren't as good as the ones above them as well. 80 level limit break, as you can kind of see, we're sort of making our way down. And then we have support characters. You can sort of max out their support, call it a day there, and then you're off to the races. Grand Voyage musts are characters that you have to pretty much bring in Grand Voyage. You realistically do not have another option when it comes to these particular characters, but they're kind of just here. And then we've got bad for now. These characters need some sort of buff. Not sure what that actually is. Maybe it's a 6+, maybe it's a level limit break, maybe it's something of the latter, and something that can work for them in that regard. Then if we scroll down here, we got Need Love. These characters all just, they need something real bad. I don't know what it is, like I said, but they need something. They need everything. They need level limit break, they need 6+, they need the goddamn book thrown at them in the best way possible. As you can see, these are the characters that we have to talk about today. We have a couple of 6+, being the 6+ of Sanji Pudding. We have Viva Rebecca, 6+, and then we have the waifu 6+. I'm actually not going to take off Viva Rebecca as well as the waifus, just because like they are subject to that stupid paywall. But look, it is what it is. So as we move on, let's have a look at Stussy now. Stussy was the treasure map legend that released just after York. Stussy's actually really, really good. As always, apologies for the scrolling. Stussy's actually really, really good, and I think she's actually like a god tier unit. She has the ability to be a double conditional booster in her super type. She might honestly just be meta. She's a cerebral driven, which is definitely like not the best classes, but she can do some really nice stuff by removing bleed. And if you get inflicted with bleed, she's automatically going to remove it. And then she also does something else. Can't exactly remember what she does with her special. She's a guaranteed conditional booster to delay, which can work out really, really nicely. And like I said, she can be that double conditional booster as well. I didn't summon for her, and most of the time if you do have her, you are going to run her as a captain. I can't really see her being used elsewhere. But I do feel like in terms of cerebral teams, driven teams, you could definitely run her as a leader just to get that double conditional boost off for those particular teams. Before we actually keep going, I actually want to sort of change this Luffy down to S tier captain. If you're using Luffy, you're using him as an S tier captain. You're not really using him anywhere else. And then Kid Killer. Nah, they've got to stay up here in the meta just because what they can do with breaking the damage cap, really. Yeah, I don't think anyone else like really needs to change all that much, if I'm completely honest with you. All these characters are just like really, really good still. Like Nami's probably fallen off a bit. She's like, what, 2 years old now, but she's still holding her own with how good she actually is. Yeah, I think I'm okay with... Oh, actually, I'm going to bring... yeah, I'm actually pretty okay with everyone else. Like, no one else has really fallen off. We haven't really had too much of like a meta drop in the last sort of 12 months. Next, we have the last of the Vegapunk legends. We have Shaka, Pythagoras, and Edison, I believe is the character's name. They were the last of the legends that we needed for the Vegapunk Donnies, and look, they're really good. I'm going to put them in S tier captain because like you really want to use them as captain so that way they can get their like pseudo triple special. Whenever a Vegapunk uses a special, they actually get cooldowns, and then if they use a special, they give the Vegapunk characters cooldowns. So realistically, you can use all the Vegapunk specials on like use their special and use everyone else's specials to get cooldowns, and then use their special to get the cooldowns back, and then you just keep like rolling through specials. So they actually are very, very good. They're a conditional booster. They set defense to 0. They do a bunch of stuff with like tap timing and fun stuff that way. They're a super type to strength, and obviously once you just put together all of the cerebral, what's it called? The cerebral Vegapunk characters, like you got Atlas, you got Vegapunk wherever I put him. Did I bring him down to A tier captain maybe? Where did I put him? Yeah, there he is. There, an A tier captain. Honestly, he's probably an S tier captain. I probably underrated him a little bit. He's got paralysis removal, he's got bind removal. Actually, no, he's based up around you need cerebral characters. No, I was pretty right with putting him in A tier captain. But if you put all these guys together, you can do some really, really fun stuff with Shaka. I do think he's probably going to be the leader for that team alongside either like Atlas or alongside Stella. And with all these Vegapunk characters, you can do some really, really fun things. Like, it's really, really fun stuff. Problem is, you need so many pieces of the puzzle to make it work, and even still, it's kind of like a budget version of some of the best teams in the game. Moving on to the 6+ we had was Sanji Pudding. Honestly, Sanji Pudding, they're okay. They're not exceptional. They're definitely not an S tier level limit break. I probably would say they're like an A tier level limit break. I'm actually going to bring you down to like, honestly, bad for now. That's disappointing. Actually, so disappointing. Yeah, definitely bad for now. Yeah, they're an 80 level limit break. The character itself, honestly, wasn't like too crash hot. They buffed Cerebrals and Fighters with their special being a conditional buff for 2 turns. They were all built up around that whole like take damage, heal back, which other characters just do now, but they just do it better. They do it with their swap, which is very interesting. But as a captain, they're very tanky, they're very bulky. But like we don't play like that in today's meta. It's all about clearing content efficiently, quickly, fast. Like stall characters, they just don't really hold a very good place within the actual game mode nowadays. It's a bit of a bummer, to be honest. There isn't really that content that needs to stall. Like I think co-op they kind of tried to, but they tried to with the Cotton Candy event, but like they just didn't. As for Christmas Uta has to be one of the worst releases ever, alongside Halloween Uta. Where the hell did I even put Halloween Uta? Did I put Halloween Uta in S tier captain? Surely I didn't make her higher. Do I even have Halloween Uta on this tier list? Did I just completely gloss over Halloween Uta? Alright, yeah, so I completely forgot about Halloween Uta. Unless I'm just, like, completely missing her at all. The Halloween Uta, honestly, she could probably be an A-tier captain. She can get around silence, but, like, it has to be in the right spots. Unlike Brooke, where Brooke can actually... Oh, no, there she is right there. Oh. Well. Fuck it, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave her on there twice. We're gonna leave her on there twice. I'm actually gonna bring, you down to, just bad for now. Like... I have not found a use for Rob Lucci and Kaku. Besides using them alongside Stussy, which was kind of fun for that one treasure map, and then I just found a better way to do it anyway. So, yeah. So Halloween Uta was an A-tier captain. She was right in front of my fucking face the whole time. But, alongside that diabolical release, we have this particular Uta. We got a strength Uta before we got a fucking strength Shanks, man. Like, it's just... I didn't actually mention that in my worst release video, but... Bro, why did this unit release? She came out for cotton candy farming. Like, anyone needs more cotton candy. She can be good, though. Like, honestly, she's built up around Rainbow Orb. She's a Super Saiyan with Rainbow. She's a pretty good character on paper, but, like, just eventually she'll turn up on your account. You'll say cool. She'll collect dust just like the rest of the characters that you don't pull on release, and then you'll be off to the races. As for Garp, you need to come down. You're bad. Come down here to A-tier captain, Garp. You get out of S-tier captain there, lad. But yeah, she can be good, but, like I said, it's just... Yeah, she's whatever. Chopper, you're going to be an A-tier captain too. There's so many other ways of getting around pain nowadays that no one really cares about you. So, yeah, Christmas Uta, she's kind of there. She shouldn't have released, but hey, like, here we are. Moving on to the 6+ that should have released. I'm going to put them in bad. This unit sucks, man. Honestly, like, V2 VV Becca is essential for Grand Voyage, and I was hoping that they would make this character so much better to just make it easier, yet we're not going to see the character until May, or, like, April, something like that. They got the slightest of buffs that don't really matter. And even if, like, it did matter, then it just wouldn't be realistically... wouldn't realistically be a thing. So, they have a 6+. Good luck seeing them ever. But now we go to the creme de la creme. We have the anniversary... anniversary... Not anniversary. The anniversary 6+. And then we have the New Year's Legends. So, let's take a look at the 6+ of the waifus. 6+ of the waifus, look, they're really, really good. Obviously, they fall victim to the unfortunateness that is we won't see them till May. However, the fact they're now a cerebral character, a free spirit cerebral, makes this unit go fucking crazy, bro. Plus, they remove attack down still. They're now an orb booster. They're a better captain. They're like a type that needs it a little bit more. They're exceptional. They're so good. And plus, they're a side grade. So if you have a bunch of different dupes lying around, you actually can use 2 of them. And eventually, once we get this release, like, we're gonna be able to do some really, really fun things. I think the character's fantastic. It's a massive shame that they are locked behind that paywall. I want to summon for 1 copy, but I just cannot condone the behavior. So unfortunately, I actually, like the rest of you guys should be as well, I am going to be waiting until May to get my 1 copy of them ready to go. As for the Super Sugos, we have Sabo, we have Ace Whitebeard, and we have Luffy. I'm not a huge fan of the ASL repeat, but now we have them as Super Sugos. But hey, this is what we have, and this is what we have to work with. We have Sabo. I'm going to start with Sabo first. I haven't had enough time to play with Sabo to really critique him, but I'm just critiquing him off his gimmicks. He's built up around a mechanic called class effectiveness. The class effectiveness is something that we've seen in terms of a weakness buff on stuff like Super Boss, Kazuna, and now PK. If the enemy doesn't have the weakness, like, debuff, which you can't apply, by the way, if they don't have it, Sabo is basically useless. He's just a worse version of this particular Sabo, the anniversary exclusive version. So, I don't really know what they were thinking there, but once you put him in a situation where he works, he's going to be very, very good at being potential damage output. But again, that's pretty much all he is, just more damage. And when it comes to damage cap, like, we don't really need this character in the game, like, to be able to do that. However, he does have an EX, which can be used as a sailor, and it does unlock this particular unit right here, which is Luffy. Luffy is the gear change, Gear 5 Luffy that we all wanted, but realistically, we didn't get. I'm actually going to bring Sub up to the meta, purely because of this guy. The whole celebration, by the way, is built up around fighters. And fighters definitely need the help. Also, Sabo is a cerebral territory, which is kind of cool, but, like, we don't really care. The whole celebration is built up around fighters, and what Sabo can do as well is he can give a full body tandem orbs, and a auto heal. Now this works exceptionally with Luffy because Luffy needs 10 turns of auto heal to activate both his condition and his conditional for increased damage taken. He can apply 3 times conditional taken on top of a 3 times conditional for increased damage taken. Very similar to what Verse Luffy's doing without the chain boundary at a much higher rate. So 3 times conditional for a 3 times a 3 times increased damage taken, on top of the ability to give weakness. Luffy can give a 1.3 weakness, and when you combine all of this, you're doing just busted bonkers damage. This particular unit, with a little bit of help from Sabo, is like another combination of these 2 characters right here. However, it's just not as powerful, like these 2 characters right here. However, it's just not as powerful as what these 2 characters are. They obviously don't require the Zoro Sanji to sort of tie them all together, but Sabo will give you the tandem orbs. He becomes the super tandem ability. That's very, very strong, by the way. His super tandem is exceptionally strong. He activates the EX, which will turn Int into super types, and then Cerebral into super class, which will then help trigger Luffy without needing the 3 Straw Hats. Because if you bring Ace and Luffy, Ace and Sabo, they actually don't trigger the EX for some reason of Luffy, which is the biggest downside to the unit in my opinion. I don't understand why they're just not included on the EX, that way you don't have to worry about all the shenaniganry. But obviously if you have the batch, you can use the EX of Wipe It and Ace, as well as Sabo, alongside this particular Luffy. And because of that reason, I just think like Luffy is carrying these 2 units. Wipe It and Ace definitely is the most fun of the 3, and brings a lot of value to a lot of old units. Any of the Wipe It commanders that is going to be used under Wipe It and Ace is now going to have a different effect. Odin is going to apply the damage reduction conditional buff, so like at 150%. So if you're using Sai Odin, who gives a 95% damage reduction, that actually goes up to a 2.45. I think it was a 2.55 times attack boost. Jozu does the same thing, and like Jozu got a level limit break. Vista's got level limit break as well. Marco can do HP guard, and he got a couple of his characters got level limit breaks as well. So this particular character as a captain unlocks the door to a lot of these other characters. But when you are running him under Luffy, you're most of the time you're going to want to use him as a sub. I do think he's probably like a little bit better than Sabo because of what he can do with like this new mechanic and just unlocking the potential of some of these older characters as well. So Ace, Whitebeard for me, like they seem like the most fun. Something that I definitely haven't had really a chance to play around with a lot, but one that I definitely think is going to be very, very interesting moving forward. Because the more Marcos we get, the more Whitebeard commander units we get, the more Vistas, all of these characters that we get in the game eventually are just going to get stronger under this unit. Like, you don't need them to be the class combination. Like, for example, if you used Odin, Kinemon Dendro as Odin, you're getting an increased damage taken, or you can just utilize them as your chain boundary unit, and then you also get that damage reduction conversion buff, bring another unit that can do damage reduction, and then all of a sudden you're just popping off at a 95% or like 150% extra damage. So really, really nice stuff with this particular character. These guys can remove attack boost, attack down, so they've got some good utility. Luffy as a captain can remove paralysis in his utility, but it's not too great. Sabo has Despair, but Wipe It and Ace have the special limit, which is really, really, really good. They're another really good option for powerhouse characters. They're a powerhouse territory. Like, the 3 characters are all really good, but if I just look at this top echelons, that, in my opinion, they just don't touch it. And look, we will see how that looks as time goes on. Same with the 10.5 anniversary. Like, as you can see, like, these characters, they just didn't touch this top echelons. However, if we take a look at last year's New Year's and Zoro Sanji, we could be in for a bit of a rise. And the one that I think is going to rise the most is Wipe It and Ace. I can definitely see Wipe It and Ace just, like, finding a home in this top 10 somewhere. But for right now, we haven't really had the content. We haven't really had too much to play with. And once we get the end of the New Year celebration, I do the end of month tier list, you might see a bit of a variance over there compared to over here. But fighters, they still need a lot of work, and that's why these characters aren't crushing goals on top of the tier list, because only one of them is Free Spirit. But even still, that Luffy's built up around fighters. And like, look at this top 10. We got Luffy's fucking everywhere, man. Like, we got Luffy's literally coming out the goddamn wazoo. So a little bit hard to compete up there. But the New Year Super Sugos, while still being a little bit underwhelming what they do, they're bringing buffs to classes that need it. Like, fighters, they need the buffs so bad, and seeing that help does make me a little bit happy. But that's the tier list for the end of month of December and the year of 2024. No changes to the top 10, honestly. I'm pretty happy with the top 10. They're all sitting pretty comfortably. If anything, I would maybe do something like this. Nah, this guy's still really good in, like, PKA and honestly, I would maybe do that. Like, that would... I wouldn't even argue doing that, to be honest. Like, if I'm being completely honest with you. But right now, I think the top 10 is pretty secure, pretty safe. And as for the rest of the game, if you guys want to check out the tier list, I'll save a link and put the link in the description for you there. But while you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Let's...